Coming to you live from the greatest country in the world, broadcasting from the tippy top of the world-famous Fox News headquarters in New York City. It is Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla, a man who doesn't think that minorities are too dumb to get into college. Check this one out. The Supreme Court ruling moments ago to strike down affirmative action, and the left is claiming this will make colleges all white because blacks and Latinos won't have the grades to get in.
It's people with a dirty mind that think like that.
It's actually racist, to be clear, and we're going to discuss it with a black man who's trying to get into the White House. I'm talking about South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who discusses the Democrat claim that it's racist to ban racial discrimination.
Democrats are so full of crap.
Wow, what a wild one this is going to be. 888-788-9910. If you want to be a part of a show that has no admission standard whatsoever.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how dumb you are.
And apparently that was the same credo they chose when they were picking a host for this here broadcast. They didn't care how smart or how dumb, clearly, which is why we're left with this show that just has one rule. You could be a Republican, you could be a Democrat, be a Libertarian, you could be an independent, just don't be a... There it is. Happy Thursday. It's going to be a big one. I'm on Hannity tonight. If you're watching Failavision, Sean and I are getting the band back together at 9 p.m. I was on with Jesse Waters last night on Waters World. If you missed it, that clip is on the Fox Across America website. Tomorrow, I begin my first week off, and man, oh boy, it feels like a few years. I'll be on the road with Jenny and Lincoln. We're heading out to St. Louis. We're going to be filming something for the Fox News 4th of July special. That's the next time you'll see me on TV. I'll be on the 4th of July edition of The 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then from 8 to 10, I will be hosting live coverage of the 4th of July festivities around the country. Myself, Carly Shimkis, Aisha Hashni, Johnny Joey Jones in the house as well. It's going to be a banger, so if you're too drunk to keep rambling on at the barbecue and you need to find some safety on the couch, grab the remote and put on your radio, buddy. And you can see how much weight I gained on vacation, because I got to tell you, we're going to get nuts in St. Louis.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I don't know. But let's jump in here. Let's just right to the chase today. I'm excited about this one. Affirmative action, just so you understand, affirmative action was racist.
He knows what he's talking about.
It's racist. Why? Because you're giving people a benefit based solely on the color of their skin. Now, when it was put into place, okay, it was done so with the mindset that black Americans weren't equal to the rest of the country. Ergo, rather than counting on them to get the same grades on a level playing field, seeing as they had been institutionally failed in the Democratic-run Jim Crow South, we were going to change the admissions criteria at schools to make sure we had enough representation on the campus, to make sure black Americans had access, equal access to a quality education. Now, as crazy as it sounds, okay, in striking down affirmative action today, okay, all of these years later, where America has made so much racial progress, we're no longer sitting at separate lunch counters. We're now no longer going to segregated schools. In fact, we've actually elected a black president twice, something that was unfathomable at the time we passed affirmative action. But lo and behold, the court ruled today in a 6-3 vote that affirmative action in itself was racist because it was doing the opposite of what Martin Luther King had dreamt of doing, which was living in a society where we judge people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. We're now sitting here in a world where the Supreme Court has upheld Martin Luther King's vision. And the Democrat reaction to that, the people who claim they want equality, oh, we want equality, are now calling anyone who voted on behalf of equality today a bunch of racists.
That was embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. They're trotting out Michelle Obama, who just took time out to tweet from one of her 3 mansions that black women can't get ahead in this country.
You are so full of shit.
Of course she is. That's the grift. It's the people that are achieving the most that are telling you don't have a shot. That's the scam of the time we're living in. The Democrats don't trot out poor people to say, hey, I can't get ahead. They trot out rich people.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
It's amazing. Hi, I'm Michelle Obama, and I'd just like to hold on. You might not be able to hear me. There's a plane landing on the private runway at my house. But if I could just wait for those tires to screech. Yeah, black people can't get ahead in this country. Hold on a second. The maid's asking me if I want to drink. Yeah, black people can't get ahead in this country. It's crazy. But do you understand? That's what it is. Equality, okay, is something. It's a term, it's a badge, it's a brand, it's something they use to spread division. They don't want us united. They do not want a meritocracy. Okay, I'm going to give you some clips from MSNBC. And they're the ones arguing that black people aren't equal. They're the ones who told you when Georgia passed a voter ID law that it was worse than Jim Crow, an era where Democrats were denying black people access to the polls by burning down their houses, by attacking them with mobs and dogs. The Bull Connors of the world, harassing them, attacking them. Democrats said asking a black person to go out and get a license was worse than Jim Crow because they just weren't capable.
This is Jim Crow on steroids, what they're doing in Georgia and 40 other states.
Does that sound like the words of a man who thinks blacks are equal? Listen to this MSNBC panel. This is hilarious because they're out. They don't have self-awareness. I tell you this all the time. Political discourse in this day and age is always conducted from a place of emotion on the left because what they're dealing with is feelings over facts. They're not catering to an informed decision. They're just telling you anyone who opposes their worldview is some type of a harmful racist bigot who's hoping to encourage violence. Really quickly, in 2 sentences, think about the fight over biological men competing in biological women's sports. Okay, the people who oppose it don't say, kill them. They don't say, don't let them compete against women. They say, let them compete against their same biological gender or let them have their own division. Okay, is that an attempt to attack these people? Is that an attempt to deny them access to sports? But that's how the Democrats characterize the argument because they're trying to get people emotional. That's the hook. Hey, they want to erase trans people. They want to kill them. Listen to what they just said. This guy says 3-year-olds shouldn't be able to chop their junk off. What kind of lunatic wouldn't let a 3-year-old chop his junk off? The truth is, none of us would have like a year ago. But that's how quickly the standard changes. There are transactional people who just want power. They don't stand for anything other than whatever sentiment they can weaponize to get themselves control. But when your whole business model is predicated on getting people emotional so they'll agree with you, sometimes you get yourself emotional in the process. And I make that point because I say this all the time on the show. When you operate from a place of emotion, it denies you the self-awareness that would otherwise tell you you sound like an idiot.
That's true. That is true.
So all of the Democrats pushing back against affirmative action today, they actually sound really racist. The New York Times tweet was in striking down affirmative action, the Supreme Court has ensured that colleges are going to get more white and more Asian, and more blacks and Latinos are going to be excluded from their ranks.
What the hell did you just say?
They didn't realize in the moment what that sounded like. Hey, if we just judge this equally, none of the black people are going to get in.
It's totally false.
I mean, that's racist. That is actually racist. You talk about the soft bigotry of low expectations. That's hard bigotry. Listen to this MSNBC panel, because it's the craziest thing in the world. Okay, they just, once the ruling comes out, okay, they just start trashing Clarence Thomas. Oh, hell no. Start with Catherine Christian, clip 3.
How do you diversify without taking race into account? What are you diversifying? You're diversifying, people's income. Clarence Thomas, he has criticized affirmative action. That's one of the reasons why he graduated from Yale, and we know that's one of the reasons why he's on the Supreme Court.
But it's actually not one of the reasons. And the main reason why Clarence Thomas opposed affirmative action is he knew that liberals and other people would always be able to undercut his own academic achievements by saying, oh, he just got there because of the color of his skin. Okay, Clarence Thomas opposes affirmative action because he wants everyone, as he did, to earn their appointment to the court. There is a difference between people who get appointed because of their record and people who get appointed just because. And if you don't believe me, read a Clarence Thomas opinion and then go read a Ketanji Jackson Brown opinion that's clearly cut and pasted from Wikipedia. It's hilarious. But stick with me, because here's Derek Johnson going in on Clarence Thomas a little more. Clip 4.
The worst thing about affirmative action is that it created a Clarence Thomas who benefited from the program and now is in a position where he's going to deny many young African-American talented individuals an opportunity. Historically, the problem has been that institutions of higher learning, corporations, companies, and other entities have denied well-qualified African-Americans and other individuals access in terms of admissions, employment, because of their race. And we were affirming the actions of past wrong deeds to ensure that we have a diverse population and not an apartheid reality in the United States.
That was absolutely dreadful.
An apartheid reality in the United States.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
This is, I don't doubt this person's intelligent, but they're emotional right now. And it's denying them the self-awareness that's to say, hey, you sound like a racist. Okay, this is going to deny many young African-American talented individuals an opportunity, meaning they can't get the grades. That's what you're saying. Why else would it deny them that? Because all of a sudden these schools are now with just the blanket assumptions, well, they're racist. They're just not going to let black people in. Really, in the America we're living in right now that voted overwhelmingly for a black president twice, okay, in the America we're living in right now where we have a black female vice president, despite the fact that she's so dumb she studied for a COVID test, are we really just overnight now regressing back to the Jim Crow South because we're handing black people equality? Hardly. But that's the scam here. Okay, they don't want equality. They don't want the barriers removed to equality because then it denies them to right to claim that everything's racist. Claiming everything's racist, you understand, is a phenomenal business model.
Money, 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 money.
Listen to this MSNBC clip, okay? Because this is a person claiming this march towards equality is racist. And in the process, saying racist things. Clip 5.
Well, to be honest with you, we will return to elite institutions, more specifically being the space for a particular population, for predominantly white and Asian students. We will begin to see a kind of segregated higher education landscape.
Oh, shut up, woman.
Hey, wait, what? A who? We'll see a kind of segregated higher education landscape. And what does that mean? It means in their eyes, blacks and Latinos can't get the grades to get in.
That is a fact check false.
Dude, what are you saying to these communities? And if you're going to talk to me about a segregated higher education landscape, do you know that over 100 colleges last year, liberal colleges, had segregated graduation ceremonies? Segregated graduation ceremonies. This caught on in 2019 and only got bigger after the summer of 2020. And the people pushing for segregated graduation ceremonies, okay, call themselves progressives. No, we're progressive.
Wrong.
Dude, you're taking us backwards in every sense of the word. Eliminating affirmative action is a march towards equality. It says the admissions officer should be looking at who the most qualified student happens to be. And that should be the case in everything you do. Okay, if you're hiring an Uber driver, okay, you don't care what color he is. You just care that he can see and stay on the road. That's all that matters. And the truth is, every race and ethnicity is just as good at seeing and staying on the road. It's no different than grades. Every race and ethnicity is just as capable or incapable based on their own work ethic, based on their own determination. Okay, but this idea that in this day and age, creating a colorblind society will only hold back minorities, that's the proof that we're living in a time where the only people who look down on African Americans are the Democrats who purport to be fighting for them at every turn.
Democrats just call everyone racist so they go along with their stupid ideas.